Crystal is an Afghan American writer. We are now in London and we talk about the difference between Wahhabism and Islam. You said that Islam is not a religion against women's rights, but Wahhabism is using huge funds to promote the discrimination of women.
Absolutely. So Wahhabism is an ideology that came out of Saudi Arabia, and oftentimes what we see in the media as problematic beliefs within Islam are actually problematic beliefs within an ideology, right? And so Saudi Arabia, because it has immense amounts of oil wealth, are able to export this ideology around the world. So when you have a religion like Islam, which was a radical, progressive religion that came to establish human rights for all people, versus Wahhabism, you see two completely different pictures. Islam is a religion in which the Quran starts with Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim with every single chapter of the Quran. Now, what does that mean? That means Allah is most compassionate and most merciful. So every single surah, which is a chapter of the Quran, starts with mercy and compassion, which are two components of divine love. Love is what God is, and that is what is taught to us as Muslims if we truly seek to understand, the meaning. Unfortunately, like every religion, there are so many interpretations, there are so many branches, and there's one particular ideology of Wahhabism which has had the funds to spread their beliefs around the world. Movement that began in the Saudi Arabian desert before it was even Saudi Arabia, and it was in the last century, over 100 years ago. Now, the reason why we see its prevalence today is because as the Saudi state was established and became a world power, it was incumbent upon them to spread this ideology into the Muslim world in order to consolidate that power. How can you control people? Well, you tell them that their religion is only this thing, and that in order to be considered Muslim, they must believe in these things. And why not? They contain Mecca and Medina, which are two of the holiest pilgrimage sites in Islam. And so not only do they capitalize upon Muslims who come to their country and invest for their spiritual journey, but now they're able to control their relations with other Muslim nations based on that ideology.
But also Britain and the USA and many other countries have close ties with Saudi Arabia. They are supporting in many ways this country and this regime.
Ahaha! What you've done here is you've hit the nail on the head of hypocrisy. So yes, it's true. Western nations love supporting Saudi Arabia as their greatest ally, their closest friend. We need to work with Saudi Arabia in order to work with the Muslim world, when in reality, Wahhabism is the fertilizer that ensures that extremism can grow. And so how can you work with a country that is consistently spreading beliefs into the world that are harming everyone in the world, not just in the West, but the Muslim world itself? How many refugees are there? How many countries are at war? Why do we face this constant state of misery? Those bad beliefs and ideologies need to be abandoned.
Hillary Clinton has been criticized for her ties to Saudi Arabia, but Trump has been also blamed for his attitude to women. So how do you see the future of the USA and the American policy?
To be honest with you, I hope that cooler heads will prevail in America. And let's not forget the fact that Donald Trump has invested billions with Saudi and other, entities in the Muslim world. And so let's not create this illusion that he is free from ties to Muslim investors. But at the end of the day, I feel that it doesn't matter who's in power. What matters is what the people who give their consent to be governed do in the face of that power. And so it's in our hands at the end of the day.
about morality. It is for Islam, but also for Christianity. All problems concerning sexuality, and especially female sexuality, are stressed, are punished in a very hard way. And other sides of morality, especially about economics and other issues, there is much more tolerance. Why?
Well, to be honest with you, I feel that originally Islam did not view sexuality in such strict terms, and I don't think any religion really did start off that way. I mean, if you think about it, the Prophet's first wife wasn't a virgin when she married him, and it wasn't a problem. And yet, what do you see in most Muslim societies today? You have this virgin-whore dichotomy, okay? If you're not a virgin, you're a whore. If you're not a whore, you're a virgin. These are the only two identities that exist. And we know that there's much more to the world than that. And so I would say that, in reality, we just need to explore these ideas further, really unpack them, see what's at the root of them, and not just blame religion, right? I think we need to look at ourselves as human beings and what is inside of us as individuals that's leading to these problematic beliefs.